Good morning and welcome to another very early Glastonbury Gabriel video. I'm here waiting to catch the Berries bus to London. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Watch to find out more. So let me explain that. On last Thursday, I came to London on the Berries bus to shoot a video which is going to be coming up on the channel very soon. And guess what? I left my phone on a bus. Yeah, that's it. You heard it right. I left my phone on the bus. Only the phone that I used to pay for everything with my coach tickets on it. And anyway, I got over that disaster. I got home and I kind of wrote it off. Phone lost in London, you don't expect to see one again. However, out of interest, I phoned TfL the next morning only to find it being handed in. Thank you. If by some remote chance you're watching this video, you handed my phone in, I respect you and I thank you. Anyway, long story short, I'm back on a Berries coach. It's Monday morning, it's far too early and I'm going up to London. There's a wonderful sunrise to my right. So I'm on the Berries coach, I'm on the way to London, and I thought I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. So while we're up there, I'm going to go to the Globe Theatre on the south bank of the Thames and have a look at that because I've never been there. And over here is Warren. Hello, Warren. Warren's actually watched one of my videos, so somebody watches them, which is a good thing. And so Warren's the chap who looks after the passengers and runs up and down issuing tickets and cups of coffee, so a good person to have on side. So I'm gonna get off now and enjoy the trip to London, and I'll see you when I've picked my phone up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've made it to Uxbridge and here is the phone. I've got it back. So back on the train now, let's head up to London and go to the Globe. Well, we've made it up to London. I'm stood on Blackfriars Bridge station, as you can see behind me, with the Thames and the view. We're getting over there to where the Globe Theatre is. We're not due there until 3 o'clock. It is currently earlier than that. It's currently 22. So, first port of call, find some coffee, tell you about where we're going, and we'll see you there. So here we are, stood outside Tate Modern. If you want me to come and have a look around Tate Modern and bring the cameras with me, just put Tate Modern in the comments below and I will come and show you around. And there goes an Uber boat. One thing about London is they're starting to use the Thames now, which is really good as a form of transport. So we have a bit of time before we have to be at the Globe, so I thought what I'd do is walk across the bridge there and let's get a closer look at St Paul's. And there goes London's rubbish to be dealt with somewhere else. good to see the Thames still in use. You can definitely sense this bridge moving as you walk on it. Definitely. The tide is actually coming in at the moment. So he's actually going against the tide with that boat. I love the way as you pan across here amongst all this modern construction, you can see the church tower sticking up. There's one next to that crane there. There's another one in the gap over there. And yet another one just there. Great to see those survivals. You can more clearly see the Docklands area now in the far distance. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, St. Paul's Cathedral in all its glory. I think if I use the vernacular of Bertie Wooster, if I get a bit of a trouser on here, I might be able to make it all the way around and back over the bridge in time for the tour. So let's head off. Now here's a juxtaposition, ladies and gentlemen. The new and the old. What do you think? So here we are looking back at the west end of the cathedral from the end of Ludgate Hill. This is a famous view. This is where many famous people have been filmed ascending those steps to go through the door, either to be married or to be carried up in a box or some other state occasion. So let's move on. Here's a gratuitous through the trees shot, just because it has to be done really, doesn't it? I have to admit, I've always preferred this side of St. Paul's. It's not as busy and hectic, there's no traffic. It's just generally nicer this side, although it doesn't get the sun. But hey, you can't have everything. So, do you think it's that white smoke central heating, or have they chosen a new pope or something and not told anybody? Now this building's old, I don't know anything about it. It's called Chapter House. So presumably it's a chapter house for the cathedral. Obviously not built contemporary to the cathedral, but if I can find out more, I'll put it in the description. And here we are at the northeast end of the cathedral in the gardens. So we're going to walk round that end now. This will take us back to where we started. Let's go. It's impressive walking under this building, the size of it. And believe it or not, the Germans couldn't hit anything this big in the Second World War. They came close. I believe there was a fire which had to be put out, but much as they tried, it defiantly was not bombed. But we need to head back over there because that's where the river is in that direction. So let's get a go. And so here we are back at the north entrance where we started, and if I swing round slowly here behind me you can see we're going to head back down there and across the Millennium Bridge. Reckon that's a Chinook a mile away. So this is the International Salvation Army headquarters. I wonder if it's called Tambourine House. How we imprison the buildings we should be treasuring. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Another 250,000 square feet of next generation garbage. Just like all the other next generation bits of garbage you get thrown up around here. Oh dear. And there we are, the Globe Theatre. I wonder if you were to dredge the River Thames here below the bridge, how many mobile phones and cameras you would find dropped into the water. A few, I would imagine. So I've got my ticket and my headphones and I'm ready to go. Let's hit a tour. We're going there, where it says guided tours. Well, it was at this point that my plan fell over a bit. One of the things they ask is if there's actors working on stage or rehearsing or anything, they ask you not to film. And for the first portion of our tour, there were actors doing just that very thing. So unfortunately, I couldn't film any of this. So what I'm going to have to do is I've got some of the B-roll footage I took, so I'm going to show you what we saw, and you'll just have to put with me talking rather than the nice Italian lady who you see here, slightly out of focus for production purposes. Okay, here we go. Shakespeare's Globe is a reconstruction of the Globe Theatre. This was an Elizabethan playhouse for which William Shakespeare wrote many of his plays. The original theatre was built in 1599, but was destroyed by a fire in 1613, and then rebuilt in 1614, and then demolished in 1644. The modern Globe Theatre you see here is an academic approximation based on the available evidence of 1599 and the later 1614 buildings. It is considered quite realistic, although modern safety requirements limit it to accommodating 1,400 spectators now, as opposed to the original's 3,000. The modern Shakespeare's Globe was founded by the actor and director Sam Wanamaker and built approximately 230 metres or 750 feet in old money from the site of the original theatre, and it's built in an historic open-air style. It opened to the public in 1997 with a production of Henry V. The site also includes the glorious Sam Wanamaker Playhouse, an indoor theatre which opened in 2014. It was way back in 1970 that Sam Wanamaker founded the Shakespeare Globe Trust and the International Shakespeare Globe Theatre with the intention of building a faithful recreation of the Globe close to its original site. Many people said that a faithful Globe reconstruction was impossible
due to the complications of the design, modern fire safety requirements, all that modern snowflakey stuff. However, Wanamaker and his associate Diana Devlin persevered in their vision for over 20 years to create the theatre that you see now. A new Globe Theatre was eventually built according to a design based on the research of historical advisor John Orrell. Wanamaker was very keen that the new building recreated the Globe as it existed during most of Shakespeare's time there, and that is the 1599 building rather than its 1614 replacement. Back in 1994 there was a theatre called the Globe Theatre on Shaftesbury Avenue. But to make the name available and to avoid confusion, can you imagine people going to the wrong place? That was renamed the Gielgud Theatre. So it opened here in 1997 and has stage plays every summer. What you see here is a thrust stage, and it projects into a large circular yard surrounding with 3 tiers of raked seating. The only covered parts of the amphitheatre are the stage and the seating areas. Plays are staged during the summer, usually between May and the first week of October. In the winter, the theatre is used for educational purposes, i.e. teaching people it's too damn cold. Tours are available all year round, and we're on one today. The building itself is constructed entirely of English oak with mortise and tenor joints, and is in this sense an authentic 16th century timber framed building, as no structural steel was used. The seats are simple benches, though cushions can be hired if you've got a soft bottom. And the Globe has been claimed to be the first and only thatched roof building permitted in London since the Great Fire of 1666. The modern thatch that you can see today is well protected by fire retardants and sprinklers and nervous people walking around with buckets of water. The pit has a concrete surface as opposed to earthen ground covered with strewn rush from the original theatre. The theatre also has extensive backstage support areas for actors and musicians and various other lovies, and is attached to a modern lobby, restaurant, gift shop and visitor centre. Seating capacity is 873 with an additional 700 groundlings, which is what they called the people who stood in the middle, standing up. The wonderful brick wall you can see here is part of the indoor theatre called the Sam Wanamaker Playhouse, which this time is modelled after a Jacobean era theatre and used for performances when it's too damn cold in the winter for outside. And this beautiful piece of theatrical costume was worn at the Royal Gala opening of the Globe Theatre back on the 12th of June 1997 by the actress Jane Lapatere. It was designed by Paul Farnsworth and made by Sue Bradley. The coronation chair in St George's Chapel at Westminster Abbey was made by order of King Edward I in 1296. Since then it's been the centrepiece of coronations when it has been placed in front of the high altar. This replica was made for the Globe Theatre's production of Richard II in 2015. Printed in London in 1623, this book reproduced 18 plays for the first time, and without this they may have been lost. They reckon around 750 copies of what is known as the First Folio were printed, securing Shakespeare's legacy as a playwright. Around about a third of these survive today in varying condition. This copy is named the Munro First Folio, after the family that owned it between 1837 and 1976. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, that was our visit to the Globe Theatre. I hope you enjoyed that. It was fascinating, and it was actually, once you got inside, it felt really cosy, even though you were out in the elements. But obviously it's a modern take on something that probably wasn't quite as cosy in its day. But hey, I wouldn't mind coming to see a play here one day. It's probably going to be a good idea to do that. So I'm heading back now towards Hammersmith to catch my bus. But I thought it would be a splendid idea to catch the boat, the Uber boats. They go 100 miles an hour, these things. Well, actually, no, they don't. But they go really fast. And they're quite impressive. So I thought we'd have a go on one. So I'm going to head down there and wait. But in the meantime, let's get one last look at where we've just been, shall we? There we go. The Globe Theatre, ladies and gentlemen. A very enjoyable afternoon out. Oh look, we're walking, this is a floating dock I'm on, so if the camera's wobbling I'm sorry. But if you're in London, that's a good afternoon. There's a pub next door where you can have a drink. You can get here by boat. You can do what I did and come in via Blackfriars, which is the bridge just the other side of the Millennium Bridge there, which is actually a railway station. How fantastic! More modern buildings, and of course Tate. So don't forget, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you want me to go to the Tate, if you want me to go around St Paul's, or if there's anything you want me to go and have a look at in London, you just have to say in the comments, because I'm up here quite a bit. I come up here and see somebody quite often. And also with Berry's coaches, it's dead easy. I don't want to sound like an advert for them, but it really is dead easy to get here. So yeah, just say anything you want me to go and look at. I'll put it in the pot of considerations. Anyway, let's get them down here and wait for the next boat. Here's another thought, ladies and gentlemen. Can you see up there? The Shard? Not been up there yet either, have we? I could go up there. I'm going to go up that one real soon. There's a garden on the top of that, which I really, really want to go and visit. That one over there. The Walkie Talkie. That one melts cars, you know. This is a true story. The sun, when they first built that, true story, when they first built that building, the sun reflected off it and melted the wing mirrors of cars in the streets down there. And apparently the guy who designed the building did one similar in Barcelona, and it did the same thing, and he hadn't learnt his lesson. I'm sorry if it's moving up and down a bit. We're on a pier here that's floating in the river, and I'm not sure if that's not our boat approaching in the distance over there. Can you see that? That might be us. Well, that's one of the tourist boats, ladies and gentlemen, going up towards Westminster, the direction we're going to be going. Here we go, here comes our boat. As you can see as it approaches, it's actually a catamaran. It's got two hulls, and you can also see that he comes in pretty hot. He's still got a bit of speed on, but just as he arrives, he'll bang in a load of reverse boot, and it will stop on a sixpence. Here it comes, any second now. There's the reverse boot going in, there's the rope going on, but it's not really needed because it's stopped. Let's go get on the boat. Hello, buddy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on up the river now. There go the engines. Whoa, feel that acceleration. Boy, does this thing shift. Look at that. No mucking around at all. There goes the globe. Wow. I will find out how powerful these boats are if I can and put it in the description. Boy, that thing kicks. Great view of the river. We're actually heading west now. I'm going to get off at Westminster. Walk under Big Ben and catch the tube back down towards Hammersmith. There's Tate from the river, and you can clearly see the tall, conical, pyramidal shape of the Shard. I love the way you can see also Tower Bridge disappearing underneath those bridges back there. Going under Blackfriars Bridge now, which is the bridge we arrived on by train, no less. Arrived on by train, that's above our heads here. The light, ladies and gentlemen, we're in golden hour. Feast your eyes on that. I don't think this camera is going to do the light justice as it hits St Paul's over there. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. And the shards were illuminated by the same sun. Look at that. Whoa, that is pretty amazing. I must admit I've picked a good day to come here. I really have. Famous Oxbow building there to our right. To our left is the embankment, built by Mr. Baseljet himself in order to clear up the effluents of this city. He had a road on top, a railway underneath, and a huge sewer pipe taking all the effluent down to a processing plant outside of London to the east. Amazing. Great vista of the river, look. We go around this bend. On the left is HQS Wellington. It's a World War II merchant navy sloop which is now used as a floating library and events venue. Over there to the left is Somerset House with its famous green dome, and to its right is King's College. Ladies and gentlemen, Cleopatras Needle. Here we are arriving at the embankment pier, named after the embankment that I just mentioned. Here we are parking. I'll get out of the way, I don't think I'm in the way here. Well, here we are, we're making a quick stop at the embankment pier, which is the one before we get off at, which is going to be Westminster Pier. So you'll have Westminster appearing on that side, and you'll have the London Eye appearing on the other when we set off. If you look carefully there, we've got our first glimpse of the London Eye just on the other side of the bridge here. The Royal Festival Hall, site of the Festival of London, which gave us the South Bank complex, is all over there. As you can hear from the roar of the engines, we're reversing. In a minute he's going to give it some left hand down a bit and a bit of forward boot, and we'll be off. Here we go. Man, these engines are so powerful on these boats. They really are powerful engines. And here we go. We're off. Under the bridge. There we go, we're off. I actually think we cross the river here and park up under the London Eye. I'm not certain, but I think we do. I am mindful while I'm doing this trip that I actually brought my mum on this very trip. The last time she came to London, which was about a year before lockdown, we went on one of these very boats. We went from the Docklands to Westminster, where we're going today. She thoroughly enjoyed that ride. If I can find a picture, I'll put one in. So here we are at the London Eye. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see me take my camera on the London Eye, you've only got to ask. And we can come up and we can do that as well. Does look like fun, doesn't it? It works on the same principle as a big bicycle wheel, actually, with them all those spokes in tension. That has to be tuned in much the same way as a bicycle wheel does. Here we are, look, we're approaching our destination. New Scotland Yard over across the way there, look. We come in. To land. At Westminster. Let's get off. They've got a coffee bar, look. Really nice in here. These seats are comfortable. Remember, if you're in London, tap on, tap off. If it's a train or a boat, if it's a bus, tap on. Do not tap off. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the House of the Parliament and Big Ben. So that seems like as good a time as any to finish the video. So thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the theatre. I certainly enjoyed it. I'm going to head home now, put this together. Don't know where I'm going to be going next. I've got a couple of ideas. I've got some things happening in the week. But for now, with that loud siren going off, it's goodbye from me. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one, wherever that might be. Bye-bye.